Come on, everybody, welcome back to the United Stand. Massive apologies for the late start today this morning. Thank you all for staying tuned in and waiting for the news and the updates that we're bringing you today. What can you say? Tyre malfunction on the road. Apologies to everyone. We've all been there. It's just what happens in life, innit? It just shows you how real we are. And we're actually, you know what? We're just like you. We're just people trying to get to work quick as we can, but things happen and you got to roll with the punches, I'm afraid, haven't you? Yes, hope you're all doing well. Hope everyone is fit and raring to go for this weekend. Geez, God, do we need a result this weekend? Getting into the headlines, though, let's get into the juicy stuff that's going on. There isn't that much to encourage people, but we have got quite a lot coming through in terms of the takeover, where we're at with that. I want to talk also about another new signing for Manchester United coming in. Nothing to get excited about, but still, we have got, what's left in the window now? What are we on today? Was it about a week left now in the window? My Gideon, it's getting close to like panic buttons now, isn't it? That's where we're at right now. I mean, let's just look at it this way. Let's just go, well, if we don't sign anyone over this next week, in a certain position, a certain area on the pitch, I think we're going to see a little bit of a meltdown in the fan base. Let's just say that. I mean, I'm just looking through some of your comments right now. I'm just going through everything here. Welcome to the Members Club, Jordan, by the way. New member in there, thank you. And welcome, Philip, as well to the Members Club. Both of you guys just joining today. Brilliant stuff. We are in trouble, Adam. Can we just get bloody get Amrabat deal done? For F's sake, we've been dragging things out for ages. Well, where we're at with everything right now is it's quite clear that Manchester United need to sell another player. Everyone knows that. You guys all know that, where we're at. It has to be Donny van der Beek and we will talk about this in a minute. I wanted to get into the actual takeover talk first, but could United actually do something that a big club does and actually make a deal out of Dean Henderson, which will help obviously fund us getting Amrabat? Reports last night from Fiorentina that the asking price has even gone down. Does that worry you at all, that Fiorentina are lowering their asking price for Amrabat? They've made a winning start too, Serie A. They had a good season last season. Why are they trying to shift him on? What's the urgency? I don't know. Does that concern you? Let me know. Get your comments in. Well, takeover talk. Let's get up to where we're at with it and everything. I will just bring it up on my screen now. Just going over all the tweet stats I'm talking about now are on the United Stand Twitter feed, people. So just get into that and all the details will be there about what I'm talking about. Senior figures at Manchester United in the football department are in the dark about what is happening with the takeover. A conclusion as soon as possible is welcome, with Sheikh Jassim's bid gathering support internally. So it does look like what has been said with Sheikh Jassim and what he has put forward. Certain members of staff within Manchester United are looking at that and going, that suits me better, because let's not forget what jobs are on the line here. And with no clarity on what is going on, you would be bricking yourself, wouldn't you? I mean, when takeovers happen in any walk of life, in any business, things change. The new owners coming in, the people that are pumping up their money, actually look at it and go, I want to do this. This is how I want to change it. And if you don't know, as an employee of that business, you're going to start to worry a little bit, aren't you? I mean, I personally messaged a member of staff at Manchester United, someone who we know here on United Stand, just to see how he was genuinely doing. With everything going on, obviously you have to sort of like check. There's been the unrest off the pitch, everything that's happening with Mason Greenwood, around the club, staff within the club, there is a lot of pressure on them right now. And I'm talking general staff here as well, not the hierarchy that we are all slugging off at the moment and are concerned about in terms of how this club is being run, but your normal working people that are there just earning a living, the stress, there is massive stress levels there. And I don't think this whole process and how it's been handled, the whole takeover, the Mason Greenwood saga, everything that's rolled into one, has not been handled the way it should have been handled. And you know what? Sometimes you have to just think on a human level and go, well, them people working at Manchester United they're like us. They don't know what's happening with their futures. Like I said, a new ownership model could come in and just completely clean slate everything, and there you go. I mean, looking at it, I would be worried myself. If I didn't know what was happening, I'd be like thinking, gee, do I have to start looking for other work right now? Do we have to start looking elsewhere? Do we need to start putting the feelers out? I mean, it is just full-on disaster case, isn't it? Manchester United right now off the pitch. No clarity on absolutely anything. Doesn't Inter owe us 40 million? I take it you mean for Lukaku? Nope. That was all covered. Cheers for the super chat, Kill. Definitely has gone. We looked into that and I checked. I actually remember speaking to Laurie Whitwell of The Athletic on that. And I think he even did some digging into that one. No, the Lukaku fee is all completely paid when they sold him back to Chelsea. Chelsea now have that issue to deal with. Avram Glazer has come in with a super chat. Cheers for that, Avram. Thanks for contacting us, mere mortals who you are keeping in the dark. Obviously not the real, genuine guy. Otherwise, well, actually, he's put a fiver in, so probably about right bid for the Glazers, isn't it, for something that they would do. The reason me and Joel have left the staff in the dark is to save on electricity costs. It's about right, isn't it? Good super chats. First super chat for Jordan, who has just become a new member today. Jordan, welcome. Genuinely couldn't see United buying or selling before the end of the window. The club is in shambles from top to bottom. 10 years of shame and obliterate SH, you know the rest. Cheers for that, mate. Obviously, I'm trying to keep it. School holidays, 10 o'clock in the morning. There'll be some young kids watching. Trying to keep it PG as best I can, but yeah. Cheers for the super, mate. Let's check if there's any more that's come through there. Lee's come in with a super chat. Adam, we have incompetent people in charge on all levels. Ten Hag has been constantly let down. Takeover in 2024, probably, if it does happen. I mean, the rumours that came out regarding the Sun, obviously Mark covered it yesterday with Neil Custis, someone we know well on the channel as well. We speak to him a lot when we do media days or when we do accreditation days, when we get into the European media lounges. And yeah, it came as a bit of a shock to me, as well as a lot of other people. It just came out of the blue again. And then as the day goes on, you get other sources coming out saying this isn't quite what it's been written as, and it just quills, drops down, and then the reality hits later on at night, and you sat in bed and you're going, yeah, nothing's changed. Let's hope something happens another day. It's just crazy. Marco, super chat. Glazers are a massive poop stain on our history. Well put, mate. Okay. That is a school holiday PG super chat. I know exactly what you wanted to say there, Mark, but well done. You obviously listened to what I just said then. But cheers for the super as always. I want to get back into the other quotes that have come out today as well. So just bear with me 1 second, guys. Sources close to Sheikh Jassim's bid believe the process has stalled amid concerns that the Glazers are unsure over wanting to sell or not. So that's come from Sky. That's come from Sky Carre, from Carre Solikov from Sky Sports. I think we've known that for a while, to be honest. The way I see it right now is it's just a case of everyone's asking every major media outlet what's going on, and it's just recycling the same old news and the same old statements. That's what it is. I mean, anyone could have said, I mean, any publication could have just gone, it's looking like it's going to be next month now. I look at that, I go, it's going to be next month now, or it's going to be in 2 months now, because the transfer window is closed, and they're just taking a punt on guessing that this could be done by then, because the transfer saga will be over. Maybe Mason Greenwood would have been moved on. Everything's calmed down a bit. Football's taking priority, and there's not as much pressure on anything. There's not as much scope for what's going on off the pitch with the transfer window closed. Every time a week goes by and we haven't signed anyone and we see another club signing someone, it just heaps pressure on the hierarchy at United. It's embarrassing for us, and we're looking at it going, it just never looks like it's going to happen. Protests start happening, people start going in, questions and interviews start happening, it gets awkward. So I just feel like someone's just took a punt on this and gone, yeah, basically we think it's going to happen at this time. If it comes off, they look like they're great, but really I think it's a guessing game. I really do. I don't think anyone knows still, to be honest. We can only look at what's been reported. We can only look at what's actually what's there in front of us. I mean, you look at, for instance, the Sun and what they've done and how they've done their story on everything, and you've just got to look at it and go, yeah, they're just talking about everything that everyone else already knows. I don't know any more than you. The publications don't know anymore, I don't think. And to be honest, I just look at it and I go, I'll just take it with a pinch of salt. It's simple as. And for me, I just don't. I don't take anything seriously now that comes out, unless it's from a major source. Maybe David Ornstein from The Athletic, someone like that. I just can't see. I can't see it ever being genuine, to be honest. I think, like I said, I just feel like it's people who literally are just taking a guess, taking a wild punt, and that basically leaves us all just sat there praying, hoping, and just wishing that this is actually going to happen. It's all garbage for me. Super chats in from Let's Review with Krish. Adam, kindly give a shout out. I'm just a scientist for landing. I watched this yesterday. Joining that elite. How do you know it? I haven't got the word or the phrase, but yeah, I actually watched this on Sky News yesterday. That India landed on the moon, on the bottom half of the moon. Well done to them. Big shout out for you. That is, according to that, or people who are interested in that sort of thing, astronomy and everything like that, is major news. Well, there you go. Mixing it up a little bit today here on United Stand, talking about landing on the moon. I think we've got more chance of landing a rocket on the moon than the Glazers still in the club in the next few weeks anyway. But yeah, I mean, you let me know, where are you at with it? I mean, I'm talking to you as a fan, like right now, going, I can't tell you or bring you any extra bit of news. All I can do is just look at what is happening right now. Honestly, for me, if you ask me if I think the Glazers are going to sell, I would say yes. Do I think it's going to happen anytime soon? I would say definitely no. I think it could just completely drag on and on and on. And to be fair, I don't even know how much it's going to go for. I mean, you look at the prices, you look at everything, everything that's been muted out there. I don't see 5 million being big enough. I think if it does go, I think the Glazers will scrape more money out of Prince Jassim, and that's where we'll be. And in the end, I don't think we're really bothered how much Sheikh Jassim pays. We just want someone in the club that's going to just rid us of the Glazers. And I just feel like it's not going to happen anytime soon. I would say, me personally, I think pushing towards the start of winter. That's how I see it. I don't think it's going to be anything over the next month. Just the way it's going. I mean, if they were happy with that bid, they would have taken it. That's my whole look on it. I need to move on from it, because the more I talk about it, the more probably boring everyone. I'm just doing everyone else's heads in, because nothing new has happened, even though people are making it seem like things are happening. I mean, the reality of United is right now, let's get into the stuff that we can get into, is that we are trying to sell one more player to bring in another midfielder. I mean, I'll put it out there. I mean, is it a concern for you that the price has dropped for Amrabat? What is the issue with Fiorentina? Why are they trying to offload him so much? Get your comments in. United do need to sign Amrabat. For me, I think he's the type of midfielder that, would you say best in class? There are probably players out there that are better, but for us right now, he seems to be the only option, and that's why I think it's imperative United actually get this deal done as quick as possible. So for me, I mean, I'm looking at the news here regarding Dean Henderson. I'm just going to bring this one up now. Manchester United are looking for around 20 million for Dean Henderson, with Crystal Palace interested. I mean, last I heard was it was a loan with an obligation to buy after a certain amount of games had been played by Dean Henderson. That was the obligation. Now it's 20 million. Honestly, can't see it. I don't think Crystal Palace are in a position where they desperately need to get Dean Henderson in. Sam Johnson is an adequate goalkeeper for their level. And 20 million for Dean Henderson? Yeah, I think it's good if we get it, but I just don't see it happening. I do not see Dean Henderson going for any money. I think the loan thing again. I mean, it's embarrassing how Manchester United are actually going out spending €7 million on a goalkeeper from Fenerbahce, and we're having to scrimp and scrape and try and get players out of the door on a loan with an obligation to buy, only if that goalkeeper then plays a certain amount of games. I mean, for me, I think you'd have to make that certain amount of games as an obligation. A minimum has to be, a maximum has to be 20, because you could easily see Crystal Palace going out of every competition that they're in. I mean, I'm not like cursing them or saying that they're a bad team, but say they've only got 38 games to play. Palace could easily play this cool and bring Sam Johnston in for a few games, Dean Henderson, and then have absolutely nothing and have adequate goalkeeping situation, one to back up the other. It's a bit of a farce, to be honest, the way that we're being taken for a ride with everything. I mean, I look at it, the other one for me, the other interesting one that I was looking at in terms of what Manchester United are doing right now. I mean, Altay Bayındır is, I think I've said that right, is the Fenerbahce goalkeeper. He's a good goalkeeper apparently, but I mean, €7 million. I look at what Manchester United, and this proves where Manchester United are right now. I look at Manchester United and what we've sold this summer from, say, our youth academy. This is a very young goalkeeper. He's not fully established yet. He has played in the Champions League. He has played a few senior games. He is a good goalkeeper and he's highly thought of at the club. But I look at Manchester United, what have we sold this season in terms of youth players? We've sold, what, Savage is gone, Ethan Laird is gone, obviously Zidane Iqbal has gone. Manchester United have scraped together, what, £2.5 million in selling their brightest, or so-called brightest young players. That's not even half of what we're about to spend on a goalkeeper who isn't fully established and isn't a full number one, and is it going to be a number one? So we're spending more money on a second choice goalkeeper, double the money that we have managed to sell 3 of our so-called best academy players for. Where you can see where I'm going with it. You can see the issue that I've got in terms of Manchester United and how we're run. I mean, I look at it and I go, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It really is how Manchester United are stuck in the position that we are right now, where other clubs can come in and just dictate to us exactly how they want to work. It just seems that we have got no power in our transfer negotiations at all and how we do things. It's like everyone sees United as this whipping boy who we can just literally take to the cleaners and get what we want, get whatever deal we want. Super chat in from International 2675. It seems many weren't happy with findings of MG case. No one was, to be honest. And I don't really want to talk about him anymore. I think it's been put to bed now, and I don't think we need to talk about it anymore. Super chat in from Ricky Marino. I hate to say it, Adam, but we should have took a page out of Chelsea's book and sold all the players we didn't need first, and then gone for players we wanted with a full budget. If I was playing FIFA and I was working like Chelsea, I probably would have done the same, Ricky. But the problem we've got is, like I just said, no one wants to give any money for Manchester United players. What does that tell you? What does that tell you, that no one is willing to pay anywhere near what Manchester United's valuations are of any of their players? If you said to me at the start of this summer, it's like Manchester United's biggest sale or possible sale this summer was Scott McTominay, I'd have gone, something's wrong. Something's drastically wrong. That was going to be our biggest sale of any player. Yeah, something has gone drastically wrong at Manchester United if that's the case. And that is where we're at. That is where we're at. I mean, it's not nice to be slagging your own club off. It really isn't. I don't want to be doing it. There was a stage in the summer where I thought we were moving in the right direction. Players like Fred, who I feel hasn't fulfilled any potential. He has been good in spells, really good in spells, but realistically was never consistent enough for Manchester United, or good enough. He's out of the door. It looked like Maguire was going. I was going, you know what? We're actually moving places here. We're actually getting somewhere. And to be honest, it's just gone the complete opposite way. I mean, the fact that Mason Mount could be out for 6 weeks now, we knew this. We knew Mason Mount missed a third of the season last season. Is it not a bit of a red flag that we're buying a player that didn't finish the season because he had a really bad injury. It was a hip injury that he had. I've not read enough into it, I'm going to be honest and hold my hands up now. In terms of the injury that Mason Mount has got right now, I don't know enough. I just know, and I've just read the sort of timescale news in terms of how long he could be out for. Highland, a player bought with a back injury. I know about back injuries. I know that they pretty much hamper you in every single way. The main part of anything, they connect everything together in the body. If the back's gone, then you have got serious issues. I mean, you only have to ask Rio Ferdinand that question about back problems. And if you've got that at the age that Highland's got, it's another little bit of a concern for me. Again, I'm sort of going down the road of the recruitment side of things and how things are such a mess right now. Dan MUFC with Super Chats. Will you be joining in with the sit-in tomorrow? Adam, is it tomorrow? It's Thursday today, isn't it? Unless you're from another part of the world and miles ahead of me. Yes, I will. I will be talking about that actually tomorrow. No, I'll be talking about that on Saturday in the build-up and my road trip video. So stay tuned for that one. That is important, and I think Saturday is going to be a big day. Gareth Nolan with another super chat. We are trying to sell the players with bad attitudes. So no wonder why no one wants our players. No club wants players with bad attitudes. No club wants to pay the wages that United stupidly gave these players, or Ed Woodward gave these players, and that's why no one really wants them. No one wants to buy them because of that, to be honest. And the baggage that comes with. I understand that, Gareth. Yes, it is a good point. I'm just going to freeze the page here now just again. I like to do this just to see where you guys are at. So I'm just going to freeze the comments and just read through this full page right now. Too early to write off Mount, in my opinion. I'm not writing Mount off at all. In terms of the player, I thought we've seen better signs against Spurs, and hopefully, I came out of the Spurs game obviously angry. You all seen my match vlog. I just thought we completely bottled it and went hiding in the second half. But in terms of Mason Mount, he was better than Wolves, and you can only get better and better, and I think he just needed time to adapt. The fact that he isn't going to get that time now, and it's going to be back to the drawing board again, and we're having to play with exactly the same midfield as we did last season, except 2 less players than what we finished with, i.e. Sabitza's gone, Fred's gone. Right now we're going into a very tricky spell of games with a worse midfield than we had last season. Let that sink in for a minute and then start to judge the recruitment and everything that I just spoke about now, about the injury records of the players that we're actually buying in. We've got one fit signing in a goalkeeper in Onana. That's it. There's £140 million worth of unreliability when you look at it and you break it down. But heading into these next few games, we are now going in there weaker than what we was last season. It's mind-blowing. I mean, I have got no hope whatsoever for the Arsenal game. I'm hoping we can grind a result out against Nottingham Forest, who, by the way, are no mugs at all. I watched them against Arsenal. I thought Arsenal dominated them early on, but obviously they came back later on in the game and looked really dangerous, Alanga especially, and there's a story waiting to happen right there, isn't it, when I start thinking about it. A player we actually did all right in selling on, I thought Alanga was the right time for him to go as well this summer, but wouldn't it just be fitting right now that that man came up and played a big part in Nottingham Forest getting something from Old Trafford? I'm not tempting fate, I'm not being negative, but you know what I'm talking about. And you know how these things come back and bite United on the arse. They always do. It's just the way it is. After the first 2 performances, it's quite concerning. I fear with no signings, we could finish mid-table. Oof. I mean, honestly, I can't even read that name out, but it's a member anyway. Thanks, thanks for the comments. Yeah, I was in this position last season. I thought the same. I remember walking out of Brentford last season, being beat 4-0, worrying for Ten Hag, thinking Manchester United were relegation form. Obviously, Casemiro came in and everything changed around. We beat Liverpool and we went on a decent run of form. You can only look at the same time as next season. I know if we beat Nottingham Forest 3 games in, we're 3 points better off than what we was last season. And last season was a good season in the end. But then again, I look at it, we could be exactly the same points as he was after 4 games because I don't fancy us getting anything against Arsenal, which is why Nottingham Forest is massive, massive this weekend. Going back to the page and where I was, sorry, I've just swayed off a little bit there. Yes, people saying I can't be bothered listening to Takeover News. I'll see you next time. Totally understand that. Everyone's fed up of it. Too early to judge Mounts. Agreed. The injury is not going to help us though. I can hear Ricky now if Alanga scores, says Zomla. Oh, I know. Cheers for the super chat as well, mate. Absolutely, it will be scenes on the fan forum if Alanga has a good game. Trust me. Ricky is on the fan forum this weekend, and if we don't get a result, and Alanga, if Alanga actually has a performance in this game, God help who's sat next to Ricky on this panel on Saturday afternoon on that fan forum. God help Beth, because I know she's not going to want to ask the question to Ricky, because all you're going to get is, I told you so. Alanga's not good enough, Ricky. He isn't good enough to play for United. He's good for Forest. But right now, United are playing bad, and it could be an opportunity for him. But you know what's coming. It's going to be something to watch, and I would definitely recommend tuning into the fan forum on Saturday after the game. Oh, Zane. Jesus, here we go. After our performance with Rice, you must be worried for the visit to Fortress Emirates. Lucky for you, Timber and Jesus are out. Zane, yeah, mate, honestly, I can't disagree with what you're saying there. It pains me to say that to you, but Arsenal do look a million miles ahead of Manchester United right now in terms of where they're at as a club. But honestly, yes, I'm not even worried that. Sorry, I'm not even thinking that Timber and Jesus are out. All I can look at is the fact that we're nowhere near ready to play Arsenal at the Emirates. That's how I see it, and I just fear for that result. I really fear for that result. Hi Adam, are there any updates? Sorry, are there any updates on Mainoo's injury? I think he is really crucial for our chances this season. I mean, I don't want to hype up Mainoo. I do want to hype him up because he is a very, very good player, and we have probably missed him at the start of this season as an option. But we can't be putting all the pressure onto a young academy graduate coming into the first team for the first time and putting all our hopes on him. I just don't think it's fair on him, but I do believe that he is going to play a part this season, and I was gutted when he went off injured. We're hearing that one still is a couple of months away, unfortunately, Karen, and painful. I hate having to say that, but that's what we were hearing from Ten Hag, and I don't know if that's going to change or if that's overkill. Maybe he's saying it could be 2 months. If he comes back a bit earlier, it will give us all a bit of a boost. Alanga is not good enough. Stop this crap, says Red Army. I said he wasn't good enough. Stop having a go. Calm down. Hi Adam, what are your thoughts on the media going in on Ten Hag? Media have to ask questions on poor performances. If I was in, I said this after my game. After my vlog. My game, jeez. I do better than some of the United players right now, I swear. After the game against Spurs, I expected the media to go in on Ten Hag. And you know what? I don't blame them for it. I don't blame them for it. His players let him down, yes, underperforming. But he had 5 substitutes to make. And he could have changed that easily. You could have easily had Martial on sooner for Garnacho. Rashford could have been playing on the left. And Rashford would have had a field day, I felt, on the left. He never got the chance to. Rashford is not a number 9. And for the media to go in on Ten Hag, I think it's warranted. We were diabolical. As a Manchester United manager, and a manager that's come out and said we need to be winning every single game, to play like that against Spurs, you've got to expect some criticism coming your way. And for me, I just think it was warranted. And Ten Hag would have known that. He would have known his team underperforms. He could have changed the game, I thought, and that would have been my question. Why did you wait so long? How many points are you willing to lose through trying things out and just seeing if certain things work? Rashford didn't work as a number 9, will never work as a number 9. On occasions, it's looked all right and he has done a job there, but consistently, no. You've got a number 9 on the bench. You've been playing Sancho as a false 9 all summer, not playing Rashford there once. So why is Rashford in at number 9? That would have been my question to Ten Hag. Sancho better up front, says Danny. Just backing up what I just said there. I don't want Sancho up front, by the way. I think Sancho needs to be on the right, Rashford needs to be on the left, and they need to fight with players in them positions, whether that's Anthony or Garnacho. Simples. Martial, Højlund, fighting for the number 9 spot. Whoa, lo and behold, round pegs in round holes. Who'd have thought it? Simplicity at its finest. Rashford, Martial, Sancho. That is what George Foster thinks is our best front three. Sancho, another big disappointment. I mean, the really painful thing for me is I'm driving around yesterday, and obviously the talk of the title, City's chances, everyone else in that top 4 fight. And I'm listening to it and I'm waiting for United's name to be mentioned within the conversation. It just doesn't come up. We're not even in the reckoning. Out to 5-4 now to make top 4, I think it is, with the bookies. We're talking about Newcastle's chances. They're talking about Chelsea coming back. Liverpool will be back in it. If you listen to the way the talk is, you listen to the pundits, you listen to all the radio shows, other podcasts, us here on the United Stands, and there's not one person that's got Manchester United in the top 4 at the moment, just off the back of 2 performances at the start of this season. And it's just fallen into that conversation that everyone was having at the start, just towards the end of pre-season. United could go either way for me. They're like that. They could fall off drastic, or they could just carry on and actually progress even more from what we was last season. We've just gone down the drastic fall-off bracket. And just, for me, them 2 performances at the start of this season against Wolves and Spurs are going back 2 years. They were as bad as. And I just don't get it. I don't understand it at all. And listening to the radio and listening to people talking about United, and they were doing it on the radio yesterday as well. I think TalkSport were talking about, is Ten Hag the right man for Manchester United? And you can spin it either way. Stats can just fuel any agenda you want to. And yeah, people, I think one argument said, well, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer went through a season, didn't lose a game away from home. Ten Hag's losing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 away from home. Is he any better than what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was? He finished second in that season. Ten Hag finished third. And then I look at it and I go, first 40 games in charge, and he's 5 points behind Pep Guardiola's record. Better than Jurgen Klopp. And they're the 2 best managers in the league right now. So you can look at it all sorts of ways. I put that stat up on my Instagram, and I think it was on my Twitter as well, just to see where people were at with it. And it does just remind you that Ten Hag has done a lot of good work, and I still believe in Ten Hag and getting this right. But these next few games, I am worried. I am worried because we always get a reaction, and this is where it's at the moment. So last season, whenever we played bad, we got a reaction, and the players stood up. Ten Hag got into them. How long can we carry on playing like that? And this was the point I was making after the game against Spurs. How long can we carry on playing like that? And then how sustainable is it, basically, is what I'm saying. Because one bad result then against Arsenal, and then we've got Brighton. That's 2 defeats in a row, and then that's an absolute disaster of a start. Because that would be, 6 points from the first 5 games if we lose to Arsenal and Brighton. And that's saying we actually beat Forest, who I've said aren't a pushover as well. I will be there from Northern Ireland on Saturday, only for the sit-in, not just for the match. We need everyone to take action. It is going to be really interesting how many people actually do the sit-in at Old Trafford. I understand people have to get off. They've got flights, trains, everything to meet. And let's just look at it this way. I think there will be a big majority of fans. It's no surprise that this has been organised and it's been able to be done, and I think in conjunction with the police, the club, it's not a televised game. I think that's the biggest thing out of all of this, because if it was televised, I don't know if this would be on. I don't think the club would allow it, but I actually seen a picture, someone posted a picture of 1958 leaflets and the sit-in sat on the check-in desk, sat on the checkout desk in the megastore inside Old Trafford. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's circulating around, but there were actually 58 leaflets within inside the megastore at Old Trafford. Whether a member of staff has been handing them out, I do not know, but it just shows you, and that there is exactly where this football club and the disconnect between it and the fan base is. They built, I thought they were repairing bridges last season. The club was becoming closer with the fans again. The team was, Ten Hag built that up. He changed the culture within the club. And then over a space of 2 months, it's just gone completely backwards again. The fact that them leaflets are actually there in the megastore tells you everything. Some of the staff just aren't bothered. Some of the staff do not care about what's going on. And I think that picture was taken deliberately. It's just a mess, isn't it, basically? It is a mess. And staff are doing it and fans are sitting in, protesting. It just seems like there's no end to it. That's where it's at. You can hear it in my voice. I'm just absolutely fed up of talking about it in terms of like where we're going as a football club and the takeover, how they deal with things, how they've handled Mason Greenwood. Let's not forget, we could have a similar situation with Anthony coming up now as well. And yeah, it's not good. It's not good to talk about. It's not good to even think about, to be honest, because all you can see is it affecting our future. Pray that Manchester United actually get taken over and we can actually move forward, because it's the only way that anything is ever going to change. It's the only way. Matty McDonald, oh sorry, I've just read that one out. I do apologise. I'm just going to go through some of your comments again. Not on UK TV, but it will be on my TV. Yes, in case of it not being televised in this country, obviously it will be across the world. So I wonder if any cameras will pan across after the game. Will anyone be talking about the sit-in? Or will it just be one of them things that's tried to be covered up and pushed aside? Eric Ten Hag is trying to repair a Rolls Royce with trambant spares. Sit in for 60 minutes on Saturday. Yes, Gravenberch is a decent 8. Amrabat is a 6. Sure, pure 6 is what's that? Zubimendi is a 6. Vega is an 8. Vega gone to Saudi. I mean, yeah, I understand we can start bringing out all these names and we can find players. I just feel like we're not going to. We're not going to as a football club. I think we are. I think we're closed book. Unless something happens with Danny van der Beek or Dean Henderson, then I don't think we're going to get that extra player in. I mean, I was sort of pushing a case towards maybe selling another asset, i.e., can we get any money for Brandon Williams? Can we sell Alvaro Fernandez? It's going to be a loan. That's another loan. All we're hearing about is loans because no one is willing to take a chance on a Manchester United player. No one is willing to take a chance on a Donny van der Beek, a Dean Henderson, a Brandon Williams, who've just been in the wilderness for the last 2 or 3 years. Would you? I mean, I don't blame these clubs for not wanting to go in for a Manchester United player. Can you blame them? You'd be like, as a fan of that football club, I'd be worried about going in for a Manchester United player. I spoke to a West Ham fan at weekend. He would have loved Harry Maguire at his club. I think that's Harry Maguire's level, but obviously they still have the concerns. It's like, we just don't know how well he's going to be. There's no guarantees with any United players. And for me, I don't see it happening. I really don't. I want it to happen. And I hope this next week is a big one for the club in terms of us actually getting the players out we need to get out and bringing the player in for Ten Hag. Because like I said, this midfield right now, without Mason Mount in it, let's not forget, and this is how this is the main quote I want to come from this video today. It's like, Manchester United right now are going into a phase of games which look daunting, to be honest. Forest is going to be difficult. Arsenal, nightmare. Brighton, they did the double overs last season and just got our number and are playing brilliant football. I'm worried for Palace, I'm worried for Burnley. The games after that, they are all playing good football. Manchester United are going into this group of games. The window is just going to have closed and we have got a weaker midfield. even by numbers, never mind if you think a player is good enough or not, by numbers, weaker by 3. Kobe Mainoo is injured. Fred has been sold. Sabitz has gone back out on loan. Mason Mount is injured. We are worse than we was last season, and we're still in the transfer window with nothing happening. That's what we're looking at right now. So when you go in on Ten Hag, just take that into consideration. He maxed this team out last season on where it could go. It hit its ceiling and more. And now we've given him this. It's exactly what happened to Jose Mourinho when he finished second. The club didn't go out and build on that progress. We made the Champions League, and that was good enough. Minimal spend, 100 million net. It's pretty much where we're at right now, and it's all happening over again. The only positive you can take from it is the Glazers are trying to sell, and obviously when someone is trying to sell anything, any business, obviously their outgoings drop down, everything just gets squeezed in financially, and then it's sold. It's done. It's the last year of financials, and they need to balance the books. And I can only hope that this is why this is happening right now. It is a disaster for United because everyone else around us is spending upwards of 200 million. 200 million, and we are languishing down in the depths of net spend of 100. It's not good enough for the biggest club in the world. Last summer, we spent over 200 million, yes, on a credit card. Everything we made last season has paid that credit card off with a little bit left on it. And now we're having to just scrimp and scrape around for 20 million. 20 million. We cannot raise 20 million. This is Manchester United. I said it the other day. How Chelsea are getting away with it, I do not know. This is a club that haven't even got a sleeve or a shirt sponsor. And they're spending billions. Never mind millions, bleeding billions. Liverpool have made world record bids that have been rejected. Record bids rejected. Arsenal spent over 100 million on a player. God, man. I mean, and all of them signings, if you look at all the signings that people have made that are over that 100 million mark, I'd say Caicedo was probably the one that is a bit of a risk. Yeah, he's a very good player. I do think he's overpriced, but Declan Rice, I feel, was probably up there around about that value. Obviously, Enzo Fernandez was there as well. Oh, I mean, wow. Manchester United, our closest to that has been Harry Maguire and Anthony. Recruitment. Actually doing your jobs, and I just feel like we are miles behind everyone else. I can't believe that we have left Ten Hag with this absolute mess that he's in right now. It's absolutely mental for me, and it's hard to understand and figure out why. Hi Adam, even if Ten Hag makes some mistakes this season, I will still back him. We need to focus on the real issue hampering our club, the Glazers. We can do what we can as a fan base. I understand what he said, and everyone does need to get behind Ten Hag. It is important. He is up against it, like I just said then. I mean, that statement that I just made there regarding us having a weaker midfield than we finished last season with, and everyone was moaning about that as being weak. It's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace how Ten Hag is having to work with this same pool of players, but less than what he had last season. Where are we even in the loan market? Why can't we get a loan player? Honestly, I just do not know. And I'm hoping that it's just chaotic because everything is in the middle of a change and the takeover is about to happen. That's my only hope. It's my only hope out of all of this. I'm questioning if Man United are the right team for Ten Hag. He is working with players that cannot follow his instructions. Yeah, I can understand that comment actually. It is the right club for him. It's just not the right team. He's trying to bring in the right team, but the handcuffs are on with the Glazers in charge of the football club. That's basically it. That's where we're at. We're in trouble. Having an assist is not dominating play. Rice does not control games. I think he actually does, George. I think he, off the ball, his organisation and what he does. I watched him a few times at Old Trafford, and he's always been the best player and always been the best midfielder. He steps up on the big occasion as well, Declan Rice. I do like him, and you can slag him off as much as you want. I think he's been, and I think he will be a brilliant signing for Arsenal. That sort of player makes a difference. And that sort of player is where you need that get in, grind out a result against Crystal Palace like they did. I think we have got that within our team, but you cannot continuously play that way. Arsenal have also got the other way of playing, which is blowing teams away and playing controlled football. So I look at that and go, Declan Rice has just added and just made them a more solid outfit. That's how I look at it. United are a million miles away from that. Guys, that pretty much sums everything up. There isn't much to go off. There isn't. To round it up, there is confusion behind the scenes within the Manchester United staff about what is going on with the takeover. Bidders from the Sheikh Jassim side are still in the unknown in terms of where the Glazers are at. Obviously, there is unrest within the Glazer family of how to move forward with the right type of bid. Sheikh Jassim looks like the only one for me. They're talking like there's other people still interested, but he looks like he's the only one that's really front running this now. And yeah, reports of it happening in October, I'd take with a pinch of salt. Manchester United, not in a good place. A good result against Forest and bringing in the midfielder will change that. That's all this club has to do. Players need to get a grip and actually stop bottling these away games as well. Arsenal coming up is a big worry. With a super chat says, I just hope that Mount will justify why Ten Hag wanted him, because we fans, majority, are baffled by that signing. I understand it, but I understand the comment, I understand the signing. I do believe that, we could have got a different midfielder, more of a holding midfielder type player, but Ten Hag wanted him, and we have to trust in the manager. Well, guys, that is it. Cheers for tuning in. Sorry about the late start. Loads of you in the chat as well. Thanks for the super chats, everybody. Give the video a like on the way out. Like, share and subscribe. We will be back this afternoon, everyone, so stay tuned for that. And if anything does happen, we will bring you that breaking news straight away. Cheers for watching, everybody. Have a good rest of the day, and we'll see you later on.